Hello, fourth graders. Thank you for joining me today for Number Corner. Today we're going to be doing a problem string. So let's jump right into it. If we jump right into it today, as you notice, we're doing some math review. We saw this last week, Tuesday, when we did a problem string. Now we saw a few different models here. We had the array model, long division model, and fraction model. These are all different division models. Now remember, we have all these words highlighted, like quotient, dividend, and divisor. So do you remember the quotient is the answer to a division problem? So the quotient is going to be what you get out of the division problem. The divisor is the number that divides the dividend. So the divisor in this case here, 6 is 18. 6 is the divisor for all three of them because we're dividing 6 by 18, or we're dividing 18 by 6, I'm sorry. And lastly, the last term is the dividend. So dividend is the number that will be divided. The number that will be divided. So 18 is our dividend here. Now that we've kind of reviewed that, let's jump into what we're doing for today. Now, as we go ahead and we're going to solve some of these problems together, what I want you to think about is it's very important to find the answer to each of these problems. But what I'm really looking for here and what you should really be looking for, so bring out maybe some goggles, some math goggles if you need, what you should really be looking for is the pattern and the strategy between the first and the third problem. Now we're doing 3 problem sets. So we're going to be doing 3 problems, 3 problems, 3 problems. So what you're going to do, I want you to think here is 3 problems right here. You are just going, what I want you to do with your thinking is I want you to just think about these 3 problems together, the relationship between the first problem and the third problem. So let's jump into what we're going to be doing. So if we take a look here, 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4. Well, you know, when I take 36 and I divide it by 4, I get, so here is I'm going to do 4 here, and then I'm going to do 36, because I always like to do array models. They make the most sense in my brain. So I have 36 in total. This is 4, and when we divide it out, we get a total of 9. So a 9 is our answer here. 36 divided by 9. And the reason that you can see that is if we had 4 groups and we wanted to fit 36 little dots in it, or 36 maybe little marbles, we could fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So we have 4 groups of 9. All right, keep going on here. Now, I have, okay, what I notice is the dividend is doubled, just the dividend. So as you can see, I've made my drawing a little bit longer because 4 is remaining the same. That distance is not changing, but my total distance is, or my total area is, instead of being 36, it's now 72, which if you notice, the dividend is doubled. It's doubled here, which that's going to be important. So keep watching. So 4 here, that's going to be our width. Now we have to think about what is our length? Well, our dividend is doubled, but if we were to divide 40 or 72 by 4, what we get is we get a total of, once you figure it out, we get a total of 18. So that's very interesting. How when the dividend doubled, our quotient, what happened to the quotient? Did it double? Did it half? Or did it stay the same? Well, our quotient doubled. Okay, let's keep going. 72 divided by 8. Okay, divided by 8 now. So what I have, the dividend stayed the same. So it stayed 72. So that means I need to have this area, but what changed was my divisor. So 4 turned into 8, which means that it doubled. So if that doubled there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write this side. This would be 4 and 4, but all together, it's 8. And then we have our total area of 72. And then when we divide it out, 8 divided by 72, what do we get? Well, when we do that, we get 9. Or sorry, if you can't see that, you get 9. The distance is 9. So look at that. From the first problem to the third problem. So going from the first problem, it looks like my divisor doubled. And it looks like my dividend, or my divisor and my dividend both doubled. And then what's interesting is that they both doubled, but then my quotient stayed the same. Interesting. All right, let's keep going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle that the quotient stays the same. All right, let's keep going here. Remember that our goal is to look for the relationship between the first problem and the third problem. So if we keep going here, we can see 48 divided by 6. All right, when we do 46 divided by 8, I'm going to quick mark down. I made another array model because array models are so easy, and that's going to be your homework. So make sure that you are understanding how I'm doing this. So I have like a cube here, and I wanted to make sure that one side is bigger than the other because I know it's not going to be a square. I know that 48 divided by 6 is not a perfect square. So I'll write 48 here. And then on my shorter side, I'm going to write 6 because 6 is probably a pretty short number. I don't know if my number is going to be bigger or smaller than it. But when I divide it out, and something that I think of in the back of my mind, I know what 6 times something equals 48. It's 6 times 8 gives us 48. So that means that this side would be 8. So when we divide it out, 6 times 8 equals 48, or 48 divided by 6 equals 8. Okay, so that's all we see here. Let's keep going on. So what we notice is the divisor stayed the same, 6 stayed the same, but our dividend is now, instead of being doubled, it's halved. So what I did was I created an array model that was half the size of this square here, because 48, if we just had to cut it in half to get to 24. So this must be the size of 24, and 6 stayed the same. So what you notice is, 6 stayed the same, and I took half the size of this. That must mean that I'm taking half the size of 8? Well, let's do the math. 24 divided by 6, if we put 6 cups out, like we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If we put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so I have 4 for my quotient, and I have 6 groups of 4. So that means that I have 4 up here. What do you notice? Any patterns? Any notices? Okay. Last thing that we're going to go over here together is 24 divided by 3. All right. So the dividend, the dividend stayed the same. Dividend stayed the same. But remember, we want to compare it to the end. So from the beginning to the end, the dividend was halved. Okay, so I did make a little mistake there, but my bad. So going from the first to the third, the dividend was halved. And now if you notice, the divisor is also halved. I'm going to put the divisor is halved. Alrighty. So now that I have my divisor is halved, what I did was I created a rectangle that was half the size of this, of 6, half the size of 6. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I just estimated it's half the size of 6 here because I still want it to be the area of 24 units. So I'll do 24 units here. And then if I do 6 on this side, now I'm going to have to try to figure out, okay, 24 divided by 3. Well, I know 24 divided by 3 is 8. So what do you notice? From the first to the third. So then that means that if both, that what I'm seeing here, and I'm seeing, I don't know, let me know if you see this pattern, but what I'm seeing is if the divisor and the dividend are halved, and I'm going to write this down as I do it. If the dividend and the divisor is halved, the quotient will stay the same. Did any of you notice that? Awesome. If you did, wonderful. If you didn't, keep looking for those clues and keep seeing where would we see the pattern? What pattern are we seeing? So now that I have gone through these with you, what you are going to do today is you are going to go through the next 2 pages on your own. And I know that it might be scary, but trust me, you can do it. You're going to create area models just like I did right here. The easiest thing to do is go here with the shapes. And you can use this. Now, if you'd like, you can use go on like a sheet of paper and take a picture of it. But I would love to see your amazing drawings here. And then I want to see your observations. So your observations are going to be, what do you notice from the first square to the last one in each of these slides? All you have to do is 6 problems. Once you have those done, then you are all good to submit. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.